YouTube. It is June, so we're all looking forward to HRCYED 3, and that's why I'm recording this video with my Finnegan, because I know that he laid down on me, so you can't see his face now. Look up. So I know Qwordy is a big animal lover, and I wanted him to come and at least start the video with me so she could see him. If she doesn't finish the video, she got to see him first. Before I talk about 3, I wanted to talk about 2. So I just got back into reading in 2024, and I went really slowly. I had 2 friends who were always talking about books that they were reading, and I was like, well, I want to participate in this social activity. So I started reading books. Turns out they're really into lit RPG, and I enjoy lit RPG, but I also enjoy literally everything else. So I found myself very immersed into the book talk world by the year 2025. And then sometime in June, I stumbled onto this HRCYED reading challenge thing, and I thought that was really great because I was already making my own challenges. I was already doing an A to Z thing and, you know, a couple other like bingo prompt stuff to, you know, entertain my reading and get me into some more spaces. And so I really enjoyed this that she built, and I was really excited to do that. Now, I didn't join the Discord and I didn't do all the submissions, although I think I can still submit all my HRCYED 2 readings, and I may or may not do that just because it'll take a lot of time to do that at this point. But I did download the spreadsheet and I've been keeping track of it, and today is the 16th of June, and I am 2 books away from being done 17th of June. So we're halfway through June. I only have 2 books left. One of them, I'm about 60 pages into a 300-page book. And then the other one is an Audible book that I got from the library, which will literally take me a day to go through. But I'm really excited to complete that challenge. It really expanded my writing. Her last year's theme was about diversity and inclusivity, and there was plenty of books I found. I didn't even realize I would bought, you know, those representations, particularly BIPOC authors. There was a couple I had to stretch for, and I really loved almost all of those that I read. I got to read The Firekeeper's Daughter for the first time for my Indian representation, my Native American, Indigenous people. Is that what they're going by now? Indigenous people read. And then I already found that I have tons of great authors. I even went back and read some Octavia Butler. All of those were really great. I just had a really good time expanding my reading. Now I have a massive TBR, and I'm looking forward to HRCYED 3 and how I can use that to accomplish my other reading goals, which is to get down my physical TBR. So that is my kind of wrap up on HRCYED 2 and how I got into it. So this time I've joined the Discord. I filled out my interest form. I haven't really talked in the Discord, but I'm definitely looking into getting in there and seeing some of the people, checking out some more of the other YouTubers, and meeting some more people and doing more reading challenges going forward. But let's talk about HRCYED 3. So I just watched the whole video, and then I saw she had the book. Like, I stopped the first time I watched it with like 10 minutes left in the video because it was bedtime and stuff. And then I went to rewatch it, and I made my daughter watch it with me so we could talk about all the books. Because if you watch my TikToks, you know that she helps me pick my TBR and also buys probably half the books on our shelves. So with that, and then we were watching the last 5 minutes. I was like, I don't know what's on here. Let's see what's on here. And she told me about the book, and I was so excited. I love this. I write notes. I keep track of notes and little stuff all the time, because I'm getting old and my mind's not as sharp as it once was. So I love this. I love that you explain the prompts in here. It's like a mini FQ built in. She's got places for you to write the books, places for you to write ideas for your prompts, all of which I used on the spreadsheet. And I love the spreadsheet, but I'm going to love this book so much more. I'm so excited to get to use it and to flip through and make my planning and go through it all. So if you're doing this and you're a notes planner person like me, they have, this one is the paperback. They also have a hardback one if you're really into hardback. Paperback was good for me. And she also left some blank pages in the bag, because one of the things I didn't know going into HRCYED 2 was that there were secret prompts. So I didn't do any of the secret prompts, but I know they're going to be doing something similar again this time. So I'm pretty excited to stay along and stay caught up on those and do those as well with the reading challenge. With that in mind, I was going to talk a little bit about what I thought of HRCYED 3. Overall, I'm really excited about the prompts. As much as I enjoyed the diversity that the last one encouraged me to do, it did encourage me to get additional books that I don't own, as much more than reading the books that I already own. And so it didn't help me get my TBR down. And it's a big goal for me this year to reduce my TBR. So I did like that I can see a lot of the books I have on my shelves, or things that my friends want me to read, are really going to be able to fit into this with some of the more openness that she's created in some of the options. And so I got some notes about my favorite prompts. So I think some of my favorite ones are the choose your own party one and the build your own curriculum. I'm a huge fan of romantasy and fantasy reading, so those things just really lead into my reading. I have so many academia books that maybe focus on alchemy, you know, that's my chemistry, or something about botany, you know, so there's my biology, you know. So I'm really excited into reading some of those books and then thinking about them in the way of curriculum. And then the whole party things. We've played some D&D with our families. I read lit RPGs, so obviously I got healers, I got and clerics and stuff to go in there. Some of them are wizards. We've been reading Primal Hunter. I mean, come on, it's a hunter, right? Like, so I'm really excited about how some of that is going to lean into my natural reading, and give me some more options to utilize my lit RPG reads with my friends into a HRCYED, because they don't really fit into a lot of the BIPOC representation, unfortunately. But we didn't have any problem finding romances for those. But so still really excited about how some more of my reads on my TBR are going to fit into some of that categories in that build your own customization. I'm also really excited about the I must acquire all of these creatures prompts. That one sounds so much fun. I also read dark romance, and I like the light and fluffy stuff. I mean, it's really going to lean into the variety of books that I like to read. So I'm excited about that. A couple of the ones I thought were really interesting were the Bookception ones, and the Shitori one where you have to connect the names, and the one where you have to connect the author's names, and then of course the Bookception where I read a book, they talk about a book, and then I have to go read that book. I'm really excited about that one. I love romances, and I love romances with authors and bookstores just as much. If you are following any of my other videos and see the books that I read, very excited about that. I can't wait to, read a book and then be like, oh my God, it talks about this book, and then read that book. Those sound very fun, very creative. And it's making sure you're reading what you're reading too. So that's really a really great things. And then I think the hardest challenge is going to be the ticular counting. I've been looking at ever since I watched the video, we've been looking at our shelves, and I was like, 10. There's not very many titles that have 10 words in it that I haven't already read. We found a couple, but I already read them. So I did see, though, a new release that's going to be coming out this year that's going to have exactly 10 words in the title, and I'm really excited about that. It's from Kimberly Lemming. She writes these silly romances. I think one of them's like, I accidentally yeeted a love potion at a werewolf. No, different writer. That's not Kimberly Lemon? Oh. I'm pretty sure that's the same person. The one I have is I was abducted by aliens and landed in a rom-com. And I think her next one now is I accidentally punched an alien and now I'm in couples therapy is the new one that's coming out. You're right. So I was right. Just so you know, the editor on the side was wrong. So she writes completely hilarious romances, monster romances, which is my daughter's favorite. She's also a BIPOC author, and she is absolutely hilarious. So I'm excited. She's coming out with a new book, and it's going to be my 10 word titled book. So that one I think is going to be the hardest one for me. That and finding numbers in the title. There's a couple, like one is really easy, but like the rest of them get a little harder. So I think those numbered titles are going to be the hardest ones to find books for. So I'll probably be thinking about those as I'm looking at books that are coming out, or I'm looking at like things that are being suggested to me. And so the next thing is, the other one that's really cool is the mashup. So there's a challenge to mash up a topic from HRCYED 1 and a topic from HRCYED 2 and put them together to make 5 books of reading. So my daughter is super into monster romances, and we've been looking for anthologies, and she's found a monster romance anthology, and she's already verified that all the authors write other monster romances. Most of which I think are independently published and on KU kind of situation. So I'm probably going to read those, which means that I'm going to pick from HRCYED 2 Spooky Creatures. Hands down, I'm going to pick Spooky Creatures. We read fantasy. There are vampires, there's demons. We've got a couple of merman books back here now that I actually encouraged her to buy because I didn't have one before. So I'm definitely going to do Spooky Creatures. I'm in for it. I already know in my mind there's a new Christmas book that's coming out. I think BK Borison, she just did The Good Spirits. I think the sequel's coming out. I think that's going to be another ghost Christmas romance. So I got a sea creature monster in Tentacles and Triathlons that we just picked up. So definitely going to do Spooky Creatures. But I haven't decided quite what I'm going to mash it up with. I think Rainbow Challenge is probably going to be the easiest. Just colors on the thing. I am interested in trying to do monster romances where the protagonist's name is a name of somebody I know, so that I can think of them in the monster romance as I'm reading it. I might not want to do that. I don't know. I think that one would be pretty interesting to possibly mash up with this one. Obviously, seasonal is a good one to mash up with these. Although I have to pick 5 books, which means I'm going to have to duplicate a season. I don't know how that would work. And then I really like the recipe one. I just don't know that that's really going to work for me in the Spooky Creatures. So I'm probably going to do Rainbow Challenge, honestly. I'll have to see what some of these characters' names are in some of these books to see if I can do the protagonist matches the name of somebody I know. So I'm leaning toward that one or the Rainbow for my matchup with Spooky Creatures, because I'm definitely going to do Spooky Creatures. I think that's literally probably my favorite one from HRCYED 2. I had to go find mermaids, and now I know where plenty are. So that is, I think, all the notes I took for HRCYED 3. So I'm looking forward to doing it, and I hope you guys are too. And I'm going to link all her videos and content stuff in my chat, below, so that you guys can find the source videos for all this stuff. So have a good time reading.